What is going on, guys? Welcome to part 4 of the 5th gen sunroof swap. I'm finally getting to the end of the swap, finishing up the rear section of the sunroof. Got the motor sticking out in the rear end. 95 and 96, I believe, on these Preludes. They didn't have a third brake light. They had the third brake light on the rear spoiler. Now, the reason why I say that is because the 95 and 96, they have the top section of the headliner. It's just all plastic and it's flat. It doesn't have the little cutout for the third brake light. So this one has the third brake light. What you're going to need is the section right here that has the cutout for the third brake light. On my other Prelude, I did not finish up like covering up the motor, and I just cut my panel just so the motor is sticking out, and I just always left it like that. To be honest, I still need to finish it up, and I'll get around to it. So here is the panel. Like I said, it has the section for the third brake light, and go ahead and fit it up and see what exactly needs to be done in order for this panel to sit correctly. First thing I noticed, there's these little clips here, metal clips. I did go ahead and take it off of here and went ahead and took it off of the rear, the whole rear here, because there's no place for these to go ahead and clip in anymore because the sunroof is all the way back there. So going to go ahead and just leave 4 on. You got these 2 and these 2. Next thing I'm going to go ahead and have to do is cut out this plastic section. Not cut out the whole thing because I still want the cover for the third brake light to go ahead and clip into. But I'm going to go ahead and have to cut all this because the motor is sitting right here. So I need clearance for the motor. Alright, so here's the problem I'm having. This right here is hitting the motor. So I can either cut this off, but it looks like it'll probably may still hit. I don't know. Or I can go ahead and cut a notch in the motor, you know, make it flush, and it all should fit. Now another thing I had to do is remove one of those metal clips here. Should be about right here, because the rod or whatever this is blocking one of the holes for the clips to go in. You see it right there where my finger's at, and so I had to go ahead and take that off. But the other clips do go in. I'm just having this problem with the motor. So I got these screws real loose, took these off. It gets a little casing off of here, and just going to go ahead and take this off so I'm able to cut into it. Got to go ahead and cut this bottom section. This casing comes right off. Just got to get this wire off. On the other side, you're able to go ahead and push this off and take the little clip out.
Is a killer, and I'm with her once again. Blind, I was blinded.
Alright, so put the motor up, fitted this rear panel, got the notch in the housing here, and everything is fitting as it should. I had to go ahead and take off one of the other clips here on the side, like on just the opposite side here. It kind of went in, but then it will just push itself out because of that rod going through here. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's like the cable that actually slides out the sunroof. But everything clips in. You got a clip over here, a clip here, and then the same. So only 4 clips holding it. It's kind of loose, but if we look here, it's sagging a slight bit. It's not, see, if it was up against it, it'll be perfect. So see that? So I was thinking, went ahead and took out this little plug here that covers for where the motor should have been. So you know, when the motor dies, you're able to move the sunroof with the Allen wrench. And so there's nothing there now. I was thinking, go ahead and somehow use like a bolt and just to tie everything together, so I have something holding it up here and it's not sagging like how I showed you, like real loose. I mean, you could leave it like this, but just to give it extra security and just holding it up would be perfect. I went ahead and tested the third brake light cover. So got the cover here and it fits right on with no problems, nothing interfering with the fitment, well, with the clips, I would say. Let me see. See, it fits right on. But I'm gonna have to go to the store tomorrow, possibly tonight, and buy something that would hold this together and get back to it tomorrow. So here's the idea. You got a piece of metal in there that I found. I think it came off of one of the 5th gen third brake light, like the metal housing to reflect, which it just kind of fell out and I just kept it. But it's kind of lifted off of the ground a little bit. It has like its legs it's holding up on, which I plan to epoxy to the plastic. And then once it's epoxy to the plastic, I make a hole in it. And from that hole, I'll be able to tell where I need to go ahead and with that hole, I'll use the bolt to tell me where I need to epoxy it. So once the metal is together and once that bolt is on the sunroof, I'll be able to put a nut at the end of it, which should give it enough pull on it to go put the headliner flush. So first thing I'm going to do is epoxy the metal sheet or metal housing. I'll show you guys before I epoxy it what it looks like, but basically you could use anything to attach the bolt to. Just make a hole in it and make sure it's strong enough to actually pull up on the headliner. Here's the metal piece I'll be using, and it's just, you can make it sit whatever way you want. Sit like that or sit the other way, it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to use some epoxy on, because it touches right here and then it touches right here on these legs. I might just cut a little bit off of the bracket just to slim it down a little bit. Doesn't really need it, but why not? Okay, sanded the plastic with a little bit of 100 grit and give the plastic a little bit of grip for the quick steel. And I do have the quick steel here. I just gotta mix it up. And here's the bracket, cut off the sides, kinda use the grind wheel on the edges there to give the metal a little bit of grip so it adheres to the quick steel. I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, let it sit overnight, and then we'll continue on to this headliner.
And I don't see once again.
Okay, so the quick steel had actually came off of the plastic when I went to check on it. It just wasn't enough grip to grab on, but it stuck onto the metal pretty good, but I still managed to break it off. There's still a little few pieces on there, but that doesn't really matter. I got the what do you call it, the solder iron, the solder pin, and heated it up, and as you can see there, I went over it with the pointed tip and just now it's really rough on there. So hopefully this time around the quick steel will grab to the plastic a whole lot better instead of just the sanded marks I had made. Back again with this little bracket here. I was drilling the hole for the bolt to fit in, and while doing that I noticed the quick steel I used wasn't actually holding on to the plastic, so I actually just broke it off, took off the quick steel, and now I'm using some metal concrete epoxy. I know it's plastic on metal, but this is all I got right now. So I'm gonna give this 24 hours again, and hopefully it holds on to the plastic and we don't have any more problems anymore. Got the rear headliner panel on to show you guys exactly how it's going to be working, and you see the bracket in there. Now close up this gap that's here, just kind of push it with my hand, and I got a bolt in there, just checking to see if it's going to be long enough. Push it up, it touches the sunroof right there, has enough room to put a nut on it, and has enough room for the cap or the plug to go back on, and you won't be able to see anything. And then of course the cover for the third brake light will fit right there. And on part 5 I'll be covering exactly how I did the third brake light. Okay, so you're probably wondering how I'm going to get the bolt glued or epoxied on in the right place. I'm going to have the bolt right in there just as I fitted it on, and put some epoxy right on top of it. Already got the sunroof sanded where the bolt is going to be epoxied on. Fit it right on, and once the epoxy starts to set, I'll take off the panel, come back with some more epoxy, put some more epoxy around the bolt to make sure it's pretty secure on there. Let it sit for a couple hours, harden, and then I'll come and put the headliner on and put all the pieces on and be finished with this. Okay, so the bolt is epoxied on. Just slobbered a whole bunch of epoxy on there, and all I gotta do is let it dry. But in the meantime, I'll show you guys exactly how the third brake light has been made, mounted, and everything you need to know for that. Now I need to go ahead and modify the third brake light if you want it to go ahead and work. If you don't want it to go ahead and work, and then you just go ahead and gut it out and just, just bolt it right up, and so this won't be in the way of the motor, but yeah, basically gonna have to take it all apart and just kind of like test fit it after I take this part out, and then we're gonna have to do a LED board on here, and yeah, that's basically what's gonna have to happen, but you'll guys see exactly how I do it. So yeah, just gonna go ahead and take it apart right now, just take everything apart, and then we'll see from there. So I got everything disassembled. This is just by itself. Got the seal that covers on for the windshield, for the back glass, and this is for the light bulbs, and this is just a metal bracket for actually putting on the third brake light. We got the red lens, and then this one's kind of melted. Well, not kind of, it is melted. I guess it's just like a protective or plastic, whatever. And then just got 3 screws. I'm gonna go ahead and just see exactly where I need to cut on this plastic frame in order for it to fit correctly, and then we'll get on to making everything else, the LED board, the lights, and all that. Fitted this on so there's no there's no problems with hitting the motor. And all I had to do was just get this piece off right here, this little plastic piece, and I just took it off with the razor blade. It was real easy. Here's the piece right there, and you know, it just went on like that, or actually the other way. Went on right here, just cut that off, and yeah, now it fits. And now just got to go ahead and what I want to do, what I would like to do, is to this piece right here. I got some plexiglass from Frosted Plexiglass, and I want to go ahead and cut it out the same. It's pretty flat for the most part. Just at the end it kind of curves, where it kind of tucks in and snaps in. Then it has like this little clip too that makes it stay in place. I'm gonna go ahead and try to make some frosted plexiglass, so it'll be kind of like a frosted lens on here. For me, what that's gonna do is you won't be able to see all the individual LEDs. So with the frosted plexiglass, it'll just look like one whole light, you know, not individual little lights. And but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and mark it out in the plexiglass, and then go ahead and cut it out with the Dremel. And then hopefully everything works, and hopefully I'm able to get that on there. But if not, I'm just going to go ahead and just reuse this piece and just make it work. I got it all marked up. I'm on a plan to just cut around here and then just save that for the last, so I could just get all the little detail work. Let me show you the frosted. You see right there, still got a sheet on the back of it. Kind of see what it looks like there. But yep, gonna go ahead and try to cut this out, and hopefully I get it good on the first cut. I got the plexiglass all cut out. It pretty much fits. The corners over here fit. And now on the actual OEM piece, these are actually slightly bent. So I don't know exactly if maybe I'm going to try to bend it. Maybe I'll just cut it off, these little things here, and just go at an angle with it so everything sits flush. I still have to go at an angle over here on the bottom, because right here it's angled out so it sits flush on there. But for the most part I got the shape out, so that's what really matters right now to me. And so yeah, I got it right there. I should be able to go ahead and just take this off so you guys can see what it looks like, because I got everything cut out for the most part. So it's just gonna look like that. There it goes right there. I know this little corner is a little messed up, but I'll make it look right. Not a problem. Yeah, it should be looking like that. I'll go ahead and turn on the camera again once I get everything settled out. I know I'm just gonna go ahead and do this off of camera because I know it's gonna take a little bit.